going on, Jerome's? So, honestly, it feels like we're a little bit spoiled this season. This was supposed to be a rebuilding year for the Vikings, but they're 10-2. What to do? Looking to finish the 2024 season strong, and it's kind of nice. It's really nice to be talking about playoff positioning and jockeying for the 1 seed to win the division versus, with 5 weeks left in the year, versus, I don't know, bitching and moaning about, well, if they lose this game, they can improve their draft pick by... No. You play to win the game, and it would honestly fix me if the Vikings win a Super Bowl in a rebuilding year. It would just be glorious, man. But as of right now, the Vikings are in the 5 spot, and if they win on Sunday, against the Atlanta Falcons, who ironically are currently in the 4 seed. If the season ended today, the Vikings will be on the road against Atlanta, but the Vikings can really separate themselves in the 5 seed, and was thinking about this, right? And the whole thing about the playoffs is you just get in the tournament and whatever happens, happens. I know it would be great to catch Detroit, but seemingly not catching a break as the Lions are just freaking tiptoeing through the tulips. And as of right meow, the Vikings have a 99% chance to make the playoffs, which as a Vikings fan, you don't feel great about. But these numbers are from the Upshot New York Times. And you look at the bye week and host wild card, so that would have the Vikings winning the NFC North about 10% right now. 90% win the wild card, 1% out. All right, so basically the Vikings may be looking at the wild card, but like we said, is that really important? Now, obviously, being at home is fantastic. U.S. Bank Stadium, although it didn't work last time when Kevin O'Connell coached a home playoff game in 2022. But the Vikings so far this year, they have been road warriors. They've been getting it done away from the friendly confines of U.S. Bank Stadium. And you look at the Vikings home road splits this year. So I include London as road/neutral because you're not at home. All right, so the Vikings 4-1 at home, 6-1 on the road or neutral, and overall, like the numbers are pretty similar. It is interesting that the defensive yards per game is almost 30 yards less on the road. Now that does not factor in caliber of opponent, and yes, if you are going to be on the road in the playoffs, you're going to be facing the best teams. Now you could say like, well, the NFC South and the NFC West is whatever. No, they won their division. They are 1 of 4, and the crowd is going to be a lot different than the regular season. So that you have to factor that in. And Darnold, who's been dealing at home, hasn't been too shabby on the road. Although, if you take away those 3 picks in Jacksonville, that quarterback rating goes back up to 100, which is kind of funny. So, the Vikings are, built to win on the road, where ideally, they can run the ball. They have offensive weapons all over the place. Darnold can sling it to Jefferson and Hockenson, Addison, oh my, as well as that defense. Pass rush is the great equalizer, and the Vikings are still the number 1 pressure team in the league. And also, you look at Kevin O'Connell's coaching splits in terms of home and road. So home, he's 13-9, including the playoffs, which really bugs me when they don't include playoffs in coaching records. Because, yes, those games count, but so 591 winning percentage, which is pretty good. And then road neutral, 17-8, 680 winning percentage. So O'Connell definitely knows how to get them going on the road or neutral sites. 2-0 in London, which is fantastic as well. And if you look at the NFC standings, so say the Vikings do end up skunked and pigeonholed in the 5 seed, right? So they could be opening in all likelihood on the road against the winner of the NFC South or NFC West, right? So or as of right meow, that would be the Falcons, but the Tampa Bay Buccaneers are close on their heels. And for the winner of the NFC West, right now it's Seattle at 7-5, but then you do have Arizona and the Rams at 6-6. The Niners are done; they're dead to me. Just whatever. So basically, if the Vikings are stuck in the 5 seed, they're going to be on the road at Seattle, at Atlanta, at Tampa, at Arizona, at the Rams. Do any of those necessarily worry you? No, not particularly. I do think that the Vikings could certainly hold their own in those spots. Now, having the higher wild card seed does matter because if there is a string of upsets, say the Vikings end up hosting the 6 or 7 seed in the NFC title game, then of course that bring back that love and feeling back to historic U.S. Bank Stadium, right? But if the Vikings do have to win 3 games on the road to get to New Orleans and the Super Bowl, so be it, right? And that has happened 4 times in history with a team winning 3 road games to reach the Super Bowl throughout the playoffs. The 1985 Patriots, so they won 3 in a row. And then they just got shellacked by the 85 Bears. The 2005 Steelers won 3 in a row as a wild card and then beat the Seahawks. Well, the Steelers and the refs, I mean, I have no dog in this fight, but Super Bowl 40 in Detroit, like that was the most one-sided officiating Super Bowl ever. Like Seahawks fans honestly have a right to be pissed about that one. 07 Giants upset the perfect Patriots in 07, which you do see a couple parallels between the Vikings and the 2007 Giants. You got that pass rush. You have a quarterback who's capable of getting hot. You got who's going to be the helmet catch? I mean, you could say it's going to be Jalen Speedy Naylor, but I'm going to say Trent Sherfield. Yeah, Trent Sherfield is the David Tyree of the Vikings this year. And then 2010, allegedly, there's a team that won 3 road games and then won the Super Bowl over the Steelers. Don't know who that is. Anyways, but it certainly has been done before. So, the Vikings have to be road warriors, so be it. But, my whole stance is, whatever happens, happens, and let the chips fall where they may. And if it's meant to be, it's meant to be. And, if the Vikings have to go into Philly, bring it. If the Vikings have to go into Detroit, I ain't scared. Not scared at all. Like, there's really, there honestly is no scenario where you're really bugged by it. All right, so starting off on the road. All right, so let's just workshop this. All right, so take the playoffs right now. Vikings open up at Atlanta. Not worried. Vikings get a win there. Then so say everything else goes according to Hoyle. Say that Seattle wins and Philly holds serve in the other 2 wildcard games. So the Vikings are the low seed. They're on the road in Detroit in the divisional round. This ain't Detroit, man. This is the Super Bowl. Yes, bring it. Right. Hey, Vikings against that Lions defense. I don't care if the crowd is loud. Dan Campbell will go for it on 4th down, won't get it, and then the Vikings will move on. And then guess what? If Philly beats Seattle, bring it. Hey, NFC title game in Philly. This ain't 2017, man. We don't got Pat Shurmur looking ahead to his stupid job with the Giants. We don't have that emotional hangover in all likelihood from the Minneapolis Miracle. Get down to business. Get down to brass tacks. Exorcise all of the demons. You got 98 in the wild card against the Falcons. You got whatever against the Lions in the division round. And then you got 2017 against the Eagles in the NFC title game. Woo! Road Warriors indeed. I love it, man. But your thoughts are thoughts. Does playoff seeding matter for the Vikings? Meh. You play where you play. Let us know your thoughts. Our thoughts, comment section. You guys are the best. You know what to do. Skull production value.